Victoria Beckham, the epitome of style and resilience, recently shared an intimate glimpse into the pivotal role her husband, David Beckham, played in shaping one of the most revealing chapters of her public life. During a candid appearance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, the 51-year-old fashion mogul disclosed that it was David's unwavering encouragement that ultimately convinced her to embark on the deeply personal Netflix documentary series that chronicled her extraordinary evolution from a 90s pop sensation to a powerhouse in the fashion world. This three-part exploration, titled Victoria Beckham, The Spice of Life, or simply known for its raw authenticity, delved into the highs and lows of her career, peeling back layers of a woman who has long been under the spotlight but rarely allowed the world to see the vulnerabilities beneath her polished exterior. Reflecting on the initial hesitation that gripped her, Victoria admitted with a mix of vulnerability and humor that her instinctive response to the documentary proposal was a resounding no. It wasn't a decision born out of disinterest but rather a deep-seated reluctance to revisit the defining moments that had both catapulted her to fame and, at times, overshadowed her subsequent achievements. "I said no at the beginning," she confessed, her voice carrying the weight of years spent navigating public scrutiny. "It was my team who first convinced me to even consider it, but it was my husband who truly made me do it." David's persuasion wasn't just a gentle nudge. It was a profound act of support from a partner who understood the therapeutic potential of confronting one's past head-on. In a marriage that has weathered storms of media frenzy and personal trials, this moment underscored the quiet strength of their bond, a partnership where one spouse's intuition becomes the catalyst for the other's growth. The documentary itself was a masterful tapestry of archival footage, intimate interviews, and unguarded conversations that traced Victoria's trajectory from the electrifying energy of the Spice Girls era to the meticulous world of high fashion. Those 4 formative years with the girl group, filled with sold-out arenas, chart-topping hits like Wannabe and Spice Up Your Life, and the cultural phenomenon of girl power, were moments of unbridled joy and global adoration. Yet, for Victoria, they also cast a long shadow. "I was in the Spice Girls for 4 years and it's a time I am so proud of," she explained, her eyes lighting up with nostalgia. "But I was so defined by that 4-year period. It felt like everything that came after had to fight for recognition against that legacy." The series beautifully captured this tension, showing how the relentless pace of pop stardom gave way to a more introspective pursuit in design, where creativity met commerce in the cutthroat arena of luxury apparel. Transitioning to fashion wasn't merely a career pivot, it was a reclamation of identity. For over 2 decades, Victoria has built an empire with her eponymous label, known for its sleek silhouettes, bold prints, and unapologetic femininity. From ready-to-wear collections that grace red carpets to beauty lines that emphasize effortless elegance, her brand has become synonymous with modern sophistication. Yet, the path was fraught with obstacles. Critics who dismissed her as a celebrity dilettante, financial hurdles in an industry notorious for its volatility, and the constant pressure to prove her mettle beyond the Spice Girls moniker. "I've been in the fashion industry for 20 years now," she noted, her tone laced with hard-earned pride. "And it just felt like the right time to reflect and move forward. Working on this documentary was like a year's intense therapy, it really was." This analogy resonated deeply, evoking images of late-night editing sessions intertwined with soul-searching revelations, where old insecurities were unpacked like forgotten garments in a wardrobe overhaul. The therapeutic aspect of the project extended far beyond professional milestones. It touched on the personal battles that have forged her resilience. Victoria spoke eloquently about the no's that have punctuated her life, from record label rejections in her early solo attempts to investor skepticism in her fashion ventures. "I've been told no so much my entire life and I've worked hard," she shared, her words a mantra for anyone who's ever doubted their worth. These rejections weren't mere setbacks. They were the crucibles that tempered her determination, teaching her the art of graceful pivots and the value of persistence. The documentary illuminated these struggles not as footnotes but as foundational elements of her success, humanizing a figure often perceived through the lens of glamour and unattainability. Viewers were treated to glimpses of her creative process, sketches scribbled on napkins during family vacations, fittings that stretched into dawn, and the quiet satisfaction of a collection that finally clicks into place like a perfectly tailored suit. One of the documentary's most memorable moments, which Victoria revisited with Fallon, was the now iconic Rolls-Royce clip that became a viral sensation upon the series' release. During an on-camera interview, Victoria was describing her upbringing as quintessentially working class, a narrative she'd long embraced as the bedrock of her grounded persona. But David, ever the truth-teller in their dynamic, interjected with a playful yet pointed challenge: "Be honest. He then posed a disarmingly simple question. What car did her father drive her to school in? The revelation that it was a Rolls-Royce caught everyone off guard, sparking laughter and memes across social media. Victoria, with her trademark poise, leaned into the moment during the show, clarifying the nuance behind the anecdote. Reflecting on the clip, she said, "I was originally driven to school in a van before my father found success with his business." This story, far from undermining her roots, enriched the understanding of her family's journey. Her father, Anthony Adams, was the epitome of the self-made entrepreneur, rising from humble beginnings to build a thriving electrical business that symbolized upward mobility. "My dad was an entrepreneur and came from nothing. He inspired me," Victoria enthused, painting a vivid picture of a man whose ambition knew no bounds. In the early days, the family van was their chariot, a practical, unpretentious vehicle that ferried them through everyday life with the joy of normalcy. "He used to drive a van because he had an electrical business, and he would drive us to school in the van and we were happy," she recalled, evoking the simple pleasures of childhood unmarred by extravagance. But success brought change, and with it the gleaming Rolls-Royce, a symbol of achievement that, ironically, disrupted the kid's desire to blend in. When he did well, the first thing he did was go buy himself a Rolls-Royce. "We were devastated. Kids just want to fit in. We used to beg him, 'Please take us in the van.' So we were keeping it real." This candid admission highlighted a universal truth about success. Its rewards can sometimes feel like burdens, especially through the eyes of youth craving conformity. The viral clip, with its blend of humor and honesty, humanized the Beckhams, transforming a potential PR misstep into a relatable touchstone.